Hello everyone and welcome to Sorted Food.
Now today we've got another incredible lineup of DIY food kits because, well, let's face it, we've probably all got a lot more time for cooking right now.
And a lot more time for eating.
Oh yeah.
Ben, you're up first.
Wonderful.
Go on then, Ebbers, unbox.
Ooh. Sushi Dog, which I think is the clue to what we're doing.
So Ebbers, this is the Salmon to Love kit from Sushi Dog. Now Sushi Dog have a couple of stores in and around London, and they are essentially handheld sushi burritos or hot dogs. And this is their most popular Sushi Dog, the Salmon to Love one, in a kit for you to make at home.
Nice. Everything you need for spicy tuna, salmon to love, and the instructions to do the whole thing burrito style.
Well, let's crack on.
Step 1, wash the rice.
That's a lot of rice, because not only have you got enough rice to make 4 sushi dogs, you also have enough rice and nori to practice as well.
Do you?
Yes.
Because they saw you coming.
They saw me coming.
My rice is squeaky clean. It's going to go into a pan that's got a lid, and I'm going to add 520 ml of boiled water. Never added boiling water to sushi rice. This is already an interesting twist. Give the pan a little shake to make sure the rice is flat. Place the lid on. Medium heat for 5 minutes, then reduce to a low heat to simmer for around 13 minutes. Whilst the rice is cooking, I can prep some of the fresh ingredients: cucumber, chilli, spring onion, avo. Once the rice is cooked, tip it into a bowl, leave it for 5 minutes to cool before adding in your sushi seasoning. Then we can construct.
While you're prepping, Ebbers, good time to mention that is top quality sashimi grade tuna and salmon. Sushi Dog talk about how they ethically and sustainably source all of their fish. They only want the best quality.
Everything ready. They give you a sushi mat. It comes with the kit. So lay it down, nori sheet, and then a layer of rice, leaving an inch at the top, and use wet fingers.
So they've been around for the last 4 years or so, started by a couple of friends who went on holiday and they came across a shop that was packed with customers eating huge sushi rolls, like burritos basically. Tried them for themselves, went, this is fantastic. Came back home to the UK, couldn't find them anywhere and thought, why don't we just do it ourselves?
Nothing new about sushi, but the fact that it's kind of reinvented itself in this bigger handheld burrito cool vibe, I like. And the fact that you see it when you travel and bring it home and make a business out of it, smart, right?
Bold portions, Ben.
He seems to be going for Jamie portions.
I know, it's really confusing here.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Come on, Ebbers.
Go on.
Come on.
Tighter. Yeah, well done, mate. Well done.
Yes. Salmon one done. Let's make a tuna one. Good cross-section, Ebbers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I don't imagine it's as dainty as eating sushi.
Very delicious.
That is very tasty. That tuna is fantastic. Like, freshness of the tuna is
The
great.
tuna was in a marinade. The salmon was just clean and fresh with that Japanese mayo. So I think this is almost, there's less going on here, which means it celebrates the freshness of the ingredients, whereas the tuna one, you've got a lot more kind of spice and flavour as well. Slightly different method on the sushi rice than I think we would normally do, but it's worked perfectly. The seasoning of the rice is excellent, and the freshness of the ingredients, spot on. All of those ingredients are scratch cook ingredients, so you absolutely could have done by buying your own stuff. However, if this is also like your first step into sushi, you wouldn't have the mat, and you'd have to commit to buying a lot more of those products. That's where this is a really nice entry step to sushi.
The question for you, Ebbers, is how much would you pay?
Sashimi fish is not cheap. All the other ingredients relatively affordable. £8 a pop, minimum, so it's 32 quid.
It's £35.
That's a substantial portion of sushi, and it's delicious. And that's pretty good.
Box me, Barry.
From me to you, mate. Enjoy.
We've got a lunchbox.
Good for weekend sandwiches.
Barry Taylor.
I know.
Barry Taylor. Fries. Burgers. The Burger Co. New York Melt Meal Kit.
This is a plant-based burger. This is the Burger Co.'s famous New York Melt. This is actually award-winning. It won the award for Vegan Food and Living Awards for Best Make-at-Home Kit.
Amazing. Or bake at home. Am
Bake.
I right? Yeah, or make at home. I think I have everything I need. We're going to oven bake the chips, so they're going to go in first. It does say the fries are perfect when deep fried, but at home, am I going to get a deep fat fryer out to cook chips midweek? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to bake them in the oven, 15 to 20 minutes, 200 degrees Celsius. So first things first, I've got to season my patties. Reading this, these patties aren't made by Burger.
No, these are Beyond Burger patties. This bit did confuse me, because for me, the reason you go to a restaurant is for the restaurant-made patties.
What they're doing is consolidating all of the great ingredients into one package, into one box, to make the award-winning Burger Co. New York Melt Burger.
Burger Co.'s mission is to revolutionise the fast food industry through the power of plants. They serve everything from soul-satisfying vegan burgers, mac and cheese, shakes, fries, and much, much more.
And it's starting to smell great. Whilst they're cooking, I can prep all the other bits. I have brioche buns. It doesn't say about brioche, so I don't know how they're vegan if they're brioche buns. Tomato, lettuce, their homemade burger sauce, and some pickles as well, which is going to be great, and some vegan V's. Can I also point out, packaging made from plants, not plastic.
That's important, especially in these meal kits.
It is. It's packaging. Now my burgers have cooked, I can put my V's on it and put it under the grill so that it can all melt.
When does this running joke stop?
It's Jamie. It never stops.
A few minutes under the grill to melt the cheese. Hasn't really melted. Well, it's kind of melted around the edges, but then the top looks like it's starting to burn. But right, whilst I leave that there, I'm just going to toast the buns quickly under the grill. If there's any reason why that might be like that?
It's not cheese, so it's not going to behave like cheese.
If I'm being honest, these instructions are in a slightly backwards order. It tells me how to cook the patties, and then it tells me how to construct the burger. But in constructing the burger, I have to do things like toast the buns, slice the tomato, like do all that prep, which would have been useful to know whilst the burgers were cooking, because I could have done all of that beforehand. It doesn't...
It's not linear.
No, it's not linear. Construction time, burger sauce. Yeah. Lettuce leaf. Tomato slice. Ooh, controversial. Burger patty with cheese. Gherkins. You gherkin fans?
Oh, big time.
Yeah. Add more sauce to the top bun. Place it on top. And our chips.
Even oven baked, they look good.
They look proper crispy, don't they? Burger. It looks great. And that looks like the kind of burger you want to eat. Cheers.
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 Delicious. That is really nice. I like that.
It's good. So it does have the texture, the smell, the taste of meat. I can't taste that the cheese didn't look great, if that makes sense.
I think the cheese is much better now it's heated.
I think the biggest compliment you can give these burgers is you don't miss meat.
No.
This works really well for meat eaters.
This box challenges me a bit, because I think the only thing it's got going for it is convenience, in the sense that all the things arrive to your door, but all of those ingredients you can pick up and you'd end up in the same place.
I kind of agree, but I also appreciate that as a chef it's different. And also, like, we are normals, but we're
Foodies.
We're foodies. We know how to make burger patties at home. We would go out and get everything that we need to create a perfect burger for us. As a safety net for people who don't have the skills to make things at home, that will get you a really good tasting vegan burger. And I think that does a really good job. And that's probably one of the reasons why it's their best selling.
How much for those 2 burgers and chips?
FYI, chips are great. I didn't give you any. £23.
£20, 50 pence. Delivery is nationwide as well.
It's not the cheapest way of doing it, but if it's instead of going out to a restaurant or instead of getting a takeaway, that's the comparison, not necessarily let's make a burger at home. Would I do it at home? I don't know yet.
Would you have another burger?
I mean, it's sitting there, of course I'm going to eat it.
Wait, I didn't. Yep, yeah, cool.
Okay, Baz, I thought we'd finish with something sweet. Open it up.
Oh, okay. This is a dark chocolate tart. Wait a minute, there's no pie case.
This is going to turn you into a pastry chef. This is the dark chocolate tart from Bakester Box. So it contains the finest ingredients, top quality baking equipment and detailed step-by-step instructions to delight your inner pastry chef, no matter your baking ability.
I'm slightly concerned the fact there's no pre-baked pie crust. I usually rely on that for a tart, but I'm excited by this. I'm fascinated to see how it turns out. Okay, so I've got everything out. So to start off with, you've got some fridge cold butter in a bowl, and then in with my pre-weighed out, pre-mixed white powders. Now I've got to rub it into breadcrumb-like consistency. It's really fridge cold butter, Ben.
You're
Bloody
welcome.
hell.
You're welcome.
It's just those little arms of yours.
Shut up.
Why are you smiling?
Hands are cramping up a little bit.
Once you've got a nice golden breadcrumb consistency, you're going to add in water. Then you use your scraper to kind of bring it all together.
Okay, that's it. That's all come together. Now what?
This next bit is a wonderful hack.
Unfold your parchment parcel and place the dough inside. Oh, I see what's going to happen.
So Baz, what's really important here is that when you fold it, you're then tucking it in around all the edges, and then you can roll it out to the size of that square, and it's just a clever way of keeping the whole thing contained. I'd actually not seen this done before, but it seems really smart. And this is what I quite like about this box, is it's made by Tamsin, only founded last year, so something that's come out of lockdown.
Okay.
She's a cordon bleu trained pastry chef, and she wanted to give people basically an easy way of doing great French pastry at home.
I forget, the other thing that you get from these recipe kits isn't just the recipe, it's their expertise. That is genius. Oops.
You just put a massive hole in it.
Sorry. Then I guess into a fridge for 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes is passed. I'm gonna unwrap it, and then I need to peel this off, then let it fall in. Quite rigid still.
If it's too cold, it'll crack. If it's too warm, it's an absolute mess. You just kind of let it do its thing. Press it into the edges, thumb it up. You're gonna trim the top.
Oh, that's satisfying. This bit throws me because usually we sometimes trim after baking because it can shrink back, but because it's a slightly different mix, it should be more stable. It shouldn't shrink back too much. Look at that for a second. That is exceptional. Right, now with a fork, do some docking, which is basically giving it a little prick. Okay, now I've got to trim this parchment paper to the right size. Now I've got to let this rest and chill for 30 minutes and then bake for another 20. So the tart is cooked, but we took it out of the oven, we let it cool, and this is what we've got.
I think what's interesting is that the kit is kind of aimed at great pastry, regardless of your baking experience. Personally, there are a couple of things I would have done just to build in an extra safety net. For example, chilling the pastry before you roll it out, not trimming it back before you bake it. So it has room to shrink back, and then you've just got a bit more control.
That's now not even usable. There's no room for filling.
Fortunately, we saw it shrinking back in the oven and quickly prepared one with our food team. So we can still test the filling, because that bit I'm also excited for.
But, although we're not going to fill it with chocolate, I still want to taste the pastry.
I'm going to crack on with the filling. Dark chocolate, butter over Bain Marie, let it melt.
Now, Verona chocolate is one of the world's most exquisite chocolates. So it's from the Rhone Valley in France, and it is exceptional. But it is also expensive. There's a reason that pastry chefs use it, especially in dishes like this that celebrate chocolate and don't cover it up with too much else.
That's now melted. That needs to cool for 2 minutes. In the meantime, I can crack some eggs into a bowl and whisk that in with my dark brown sugar.
So the only additional fresh ingredients you add to the small box is a couple of eggs and the butter, both for the pastry and the filling. If you buy the bigger box, it comes with those, but then obviously the box has a shelf life that is shorter.
What I like about the kit is that it comes with the written instructions with photos, and there's a video that you can watch online as well. They're both really, really good in their own right. There are a couple of differences between what they tell you to do in the video and what they tell you to do in the written instructions. And as a normal, I don't know which one to follow. Like, for me, I'd need that to be consistent so I know that I'm doing it right.
Stir it up and then add in your cane spirit, which is non-alcoholic.
Oh my goodness, look at that. So velvety. Okay, that's the mix done. And the food team have made a pie case that has worked. It hasn't shrunk this time because they baked it with bits overhanging the edge and then they trimmed it back.
Oh yeah.
Now this goes into the oven at 120 for 20 minutes. It's now cooled. I'm pretty happy with that.
It looks glossy AF.
Now, duster. Here, this is going to get a very fine dust because we're kind of putting the cocoa powder in a muslin cloth.
I've never seen this before. That is great.
Oh, okay.
What's the blowtorch for?
Apparently, hot knife through chocolate tart. Oh, that felt good. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Look how delicate that is. Look how shiny that filling is.
Do you know what, Baz? You have done 50% of that tart beautifully.
Shut up! give me this for a second. Let me have this. I'm just gonna cut you a slice of the original tart as well.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's like shortbread.
That is exactly like shortbread.
Very short, very crumbly, very buttery, delicious.
Now imagine that with this filling.
Oh, that's something.
Decadent AF.
That is absolutely sublime.
So good.
I think this is the trickiest one yet to pin down on price.
There's lots of things to consider. Very expensive, well-sourced ingredients. The Verona chocolate itself is top-notch. Professional baking equipment that you can use again and again, and the expertise.
£25.
27, so you're pretty good there.
I'd treat that money as an investment into learning how to make a proper tart. I'm annoyed that I got it. It allowed me to get it wrong.
To me, it feels like with a few tweaks to the kit, making sure that the written instructions match the video and it is a little bit more idiot-proof, that could be incredible.
Either way, it's an exceptional recipe and an unbelievable tart.
Well, that was a very tasty episode. If you liked the video, give it a like and make sure to comment down below. Let us know what DIY food kits should we be testing next.
And of course, as always, join in the conversation over on Twitter. And to do so, it's the hashtag #SortedFoodKits.
Over on sorted.club/blog, you can find our guide to restaurant kits for every occasion. There are loads of other articles on there too, and the link is downstairs.
Oi.
Whoa,
Jamie,
Evans!